the question that I'd like to frame this story in the context of, and I'll just put this right to you, is how would this story that I'm about to share with you be treated if it was about Muslims in the United States, or if it was about black people or Hispanic people in the United States? Here's the story. The headline, this is by Jordan Green over at rawstory.com. He's a staff reporter. The headline, a neo-Nazi terror cell plotted to kill Black Lives Matter leaders and attack the American power grid. When arrests began, a cop this is a cop from Indiana, started singing. Paul James Kriskuk, a former porn actor who used the alias Deacon, pleaded guilty to conspiracy to damage an energy facility. This was last month. Marine Corps veteran Justin Wade Hermanson, a.k.a. Sandman, entered a guilty plea for conspiracy to illegally manufacture, ship, transport, and receive firearms on March 8th. 3 co-defendants have yet to be arraigned on multiple counts of conspiracy to illegally manufacture and transport firearms and destruction of an energy facility. These guys met through a website called Iron March, which is now out of business, but for many years it was the online nexus for violent Nazis. In fact, according to Wikipedia, over 100 murders could be tracked back to it. Collins wrote in a post on Iron March in August 2017, the same month he entered basic training for the Marine Corps, that he could run live fire exercises. He said, think of it as a modern-day SS. Yes, these people are Nazis. He outlined a plan for launching a race war, laying the groundwork for a future white ethno-state. Quote, first order of business is knocking down the system, capital T, capital S, the system, mounting it and smashing its face until it has been beaten past the point of death. They're speaking of the United States of America here. The system, he says, eventually we will have to bring the rifles out and go to work. We will have to hit the streets and strike as many blows to the remaining power structure as we can to keep it on the ropes. According to the indictment, the purpose of their attack on the power grid was, quote, creating general chaos and to provide cover and ease of escape in those areas in which they plan to undertake assassinations and other desired operations to further their goal of creating a white ethno-state. Now, what if white ethno-state had been replaced by black ethno-state or Muslim theocracy? Do you think this would be on the front page of the New York Times right now? I do. I absolutely do. But because it's a white ethno-state, it's like, oh yeah, we need those guys. Black Lives Matter co-founder Alicia Garza disclosed that the FBI notified her that her name was on a list found at this guy's house. You know who busted them initially? It was NCIS. I've watched the show on TV, and I didn't, it's like, who knew? Anyhow, the group discussed the Metcalf sniper attack in which 6 individuals with AK-47 assault rifles shot out 17 transformers at a substation near San Jose, California that provide electricity to Silicon Valley. I didn't even know that had happened, right? This is how little publicity this kind of stuff gets. And they said that this was the model for the attack that they wanted to carry out. And so then one of these 3 guys, Zacharek, joined the Lafayette Police Department in Indiana in June of 2020. The same guy, in his biography for Iron March, claimed an interest in, quote, National Socialist economics as a way of throwing off the chains of usury and Jewish-owned banking. During the summer of 2020, the government alleges the neo-Nazi, I'm reading from Jordan Green's piece here on Raw Story. During the summer of 2020, the government alleges the neo-Nazi terror cell stalked Black Lives Matter members in Boise and openly discussed acting out violent fantasies. They planned to attack the power grid were specifically tied to their antagonism towards Black Lives Matter. Their slogan, the lights go out, and so do you. Krista carried an envelope with a list of power substations in Boise, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, and San Francisco, along with other locations, plus fuel depots. And he had written down the names of 12 to 14 individuals who presumably were targeted for assassination. That list, by the way, included the governor of our state, Kate Brown, here in Oregon. Another target was an AP reporter, an Associated Press reporter. He told the court, we were going to do this to accelerate the fall and make it happen. This is Tim McVeigh stuff. Tim McVeigh thought that by blowing up the federal building in Oklahoma City, this is right out of the Turner Diaries, right out of this novel that all these guys read, where the hero of the novel blows up a federal building, and as a result, the federal government clamps down and starts taking away guns from good white people who then rise up and kill off all the mud races they're referred to in the book. Black people, Hispanic people, Asian people, Jews, kill them all. And in the end of the novel, the white guy standing there with his rifle in his hand over his now Christian white nation. So this case went before a judge who was appointed by Donald Trump, Judge Myers. The story notes, but Judge Myers, a Trump appointee, made light of some of the government's evidence. Myers ordered Moreno released to home incarceration in the custody of his mother. Judge Myers granted his request to travel next week to an Italian restaurant in Old Bridge, New Jersey, to celebrate the christening for the child of his cousin. Oh, aren't these people sweet? At the same time that Lindsey Graham yesterday threw a hissy fit because people who have never been charged with a crime down in Guantanamo, he thinks should just die there because they wanted to blow up substations in America, power stations. What the hell is going on? Where are we going in this country?